Alright, this is my Ghave Guru of Spores EDH deck. Ghave Guru of Spores is a new commander that came out of the commander decks. It's 1 green, white, black, 2 colorless for a 0/0 that enters the battlefield with 5+1/+1 counters, and you can remove a counter from 1 colorless from a creature you control to put a sapling into play. And you can pay 1 colorless to sacrifice the sapling to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. The reason I chose this general is because it's really versatile and there's many broken possibilities you can do for this card. So let's jump right in. I'm going to start with the enchantments. First I have Privileged Position. Now the reason I use Privileged Position is because this isn't really a swarm deck. You may think because you may think Ghave is a token producer, but he can be utilized as that. But however, I use him as for all his broken combos. So this helps protect my combos. Mirari's Wake gives me massive amounts of mana. Grave Pact, great combo with Ghave. It can make my opponent sacrifice creatures for 2 colorless basically. Fecundity, same deal as Grave Pact except it draws me cards. Shield of the Oversoul, strictly basically because it makes my general indestructible. Fire Action Arena, great card draw. Aura Shards, I can basically pay 2 colorless to destroy target artifact enchantment, so it works similar to Fecundity and Grave Pact. Now on to instants and sorceries. We have Praetor's Council, great EDH card. Late game it can gain me massive amounts of card advantage. Green Sun Zenith helps tutor up my creatures. Primal Command also tutor up creatures, can gain me life, return creature to its library or on top of its library. Pretty versatile. Harmonize, draw 3 cards for 4, pretty useful. Damnation, great board wipe. Wrath of God, another great board wipe. Putrefy, in EDH can be pretty damn nasty. It's almost as good as Maelstrom Pulse probably. Well, when you're not playing a token deck, it's probably better because of the instant speed. But Harrow, I've considered taking it out because it really sucks when it gets countered. It really sets you back a lot. Beast Within, great new removal from New Phyrexia. Kadama's Reach, it's a Cultivate. And here's another Cultivate, an actual Cultivate, so basically I can run 2 Cultivates. Recollect, it's a nerfed regrowth because it costs 3. Maelstrom Pulse, really great against token decks. And how often do you take out a land with Vindicate? An EDH, anyway. Crozan Grip, naturalize the Split Second. Sylvan Scrying searches up lands, kind of pointless in my deck. I don't know why I put it in there, but it definitely helps land fixation. Regrowth, returns any card from my graveyard to hand for 2. Great. Rampant Growth. Edge of Autumn. It's a Rampant Growth, except I only affects if I have 4 or fewer lands. However, I can sacrifice it. I sacrifice a land to cycle it, which is pretty helpful late game. Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshares. Great white removal. Worldly Tutor. It's a tutor, I guess. What can I say? Liliana Vest, I basically only use it for its tutor ability, but if I'm playing like a deck that has a lot of graveyard, I can try to get it up to 8 counters, and that would be a win condition. Woodfall, now on the creatures, they got Woodfall Primus. With Persist, there's a kind of a funny little combo with Persist creatures, my general. I can pay 1 colorless, put the sacrifice the Persist creature, put the Persist on the stack, and then the creature comes back, and then I put the +1/+1 counter on the creature with Persist, removing the -1/-1 counter, so that I can do that repeatedly so long as I have 1 colorless mana. So basically I can destroy X target non-creature permanents for X mana. Butcher of Malakir, it's Grave Pact on a stick, however a lot more expensive. Elesh Norn pumps up my little creatures, not that significant, but the big thing is it really buys me a lot of time because it makes my opponent's creatures really weak. Triskelion, there's a couple infinite damage combos in this deck. It's kind of slow. I've considered taking that one out as well, but I still use it. Vigor, great it goes with the +1/+1 counter theme, and it makes my creatures virtually indestructible to damage because it puts +1/+1 counters on them as well. Mykolov, I don't even need to play this guy with sacrificing any creatures. I can just play him, put +1/+1 counters onto him, and as I get more saplings, I can put more and more plus and plus counters onto it. It gets really nasty. Genesis, great green EDH staple, helps bring back creatures from my graveyard to my hand if they happen to be destroyed. Creekwood Liege buys me a lot of time. Necrotic Sliver is Vindicate on a stick. Kitchen Finks, another persist creature. Yavimaya Elder, great card advantage. Psychotrope Talib, similar to Fecundity, however he only gives me advantage, costs more vulnerable, but he only affects me. Dauntless Escort protects me from Wrath of God and similar effects. Twilight Drover, great card. I'm not going to explain what that does, but makes an infinite mana loop. Sakuga Tribe Elder, it's a ramp for growth on a stick. Fauna Shaman helps tutor up my creatures. Psychotrope Talid, Vitus Spore Talid, gives it's a spore, so it gets spore counter every turn, and then I can remove 3 spore counters to get a sapling. And I can sacrifice a sapling to give a creature haste, which is pretty helpful. Death Spore Talid, with Mortician Beetle and Ghave out, which I'll get to in a second. That I can basically clear the board anytime I want. Quasari Pride Maze, kind of relevant for the Exalted, because it is an aggro deck, but it's pretty useful with the Destroy Artifact enchantment. But Mortician Beetle, that gets pretty broken in the deck. Birds of Paradise, staple. Soul's Attendant, infinite life. Utopia Mycon, that gives me infinite amount of mana in certain areas, and it can really get pretty crazy as well with the possibilities in this deck. Now onto the artifacts, and I got my Neverrhinal Disc, Birthing Pod. Now Smokestack, I can basically move any get a counter every single turn, because I can afford to put as many counters as I want on this, because I can produce so many creatures so fast. Crucible of Worlds, great, especially when I have like a fetch land in the graveyard. I can just, that's pretty awesome right there. I can continue to clear out my deck and fix up my lands. I got Howling Mine, which great card advantage. However, it affects my opponents too. Lightning Greaves gives the creature haste and shroud. Soul Rings, the staple. Skull Clamp, I can basically just sacrifice a sapling to draw 2 cards. It's pretty amazing. Sensitive Divining Top. And then on to lands, we have the 3 cycle lands from Onslaught that are cycling for the 1 color, not the 2 colorless. The only fetches I have right now are Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, and Misty Rainforest, but I'm going to put in Verdant Catacombs, Marsh Flats, and Windswept Teeth. Now we have a Oran Reef of Vastwood, great for pretty much any deck that runs green. It can give my creatures plus and plus counters, which goes along specifically with the theme. Running out of time here. I got Mystifying Maze, Tectonic Edge, and Wasteland. Great removal for lands and creatures, or temporary removal. Godless Shrine and Temple Garden. I still need Overgrown Tomb. They're the Revegenica Shocklands. Command Tower, the new EDH staple for pretty much any deck that runs 2 or more colors. Yavimaya Hollow, regenerates a creature, pretty much a staple for any deck with appropriate colors. Temple of the False God, produces 2 colorless mana when I have 5 or more lands, and it counts too, so I only need 4 other lands. Now on to basic lands, the last thing of the deck. We've got 3 plains. This number is subject to change because I just added a bunch of cards to the deck. 4 swamp and 9 forest. So that's it. It's only about 90 cards right now if you were counting, but I'm still not done. I need to add a couple lands and a couple other cards. And so the main broken, gotta make sure I'm not running out of time here. I got plenty of time. But anyway, the main broken combo of the deck, which I'll get into real quick, is Ghave Guru Spores Mortician Beetle, because I can pay 2 colorless, remove a counter from Ghave, put it back on itself, and when I sacrifice that sapling to put the counter back on itself, this ability goes in the stack and I get a +1/+1 counter on Mortician Beetle. So basically from there I can pay 2 colorless to put a +1/+1 counter on Mortician Beetle or any other creature I want. So that's pretty helpful. I can really pump my creatures up really fast. And when I have something like Ashnod's Altar out, which I don't have in the deck because I still haven't gotten yet, one of the cards that I'm going to add, and I have these 2 out, Mortician Beetle and Ghave. That's an infinite mana combo. I'm not going to explain how it is, but, well, yeah, sure. I remove a counter from Mortician Beetle or from Mortician Beetle, sacrifice it to get 2 colorless. The Mortician Beetle gets the counter back because I sacrificed a creature, and then I use one of the 2 colorless, so I'm floating 1 still to remove another counter, make sapling, sack it, Now I have 3, you know, it goes on and on and on, and it's infinite mana combo with the exception of I need 1 colorless mana to start. So that's infinite mana combo. When I have something like Triskelion now, that's infinite damage, or Soul's Attendant, that's infinite life, or Death Spore Talent, that's infinite board wipe, or Vital Spore Talent, I can just make an army of like an infinite amount of 1/1s and attack in the same turn with infinite amount of 1/1s. Now when I have Doubling Season out, which I don't have yet, it's coming in the mail from somebody, but Doubling Season basically makes it so I haven't really thought of it yet, but well, he would come into play as a 10/10, so that's pretty much good enough right there. But so yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Plenty of broken combos. Twilight Drover also works similarly to Mortician Beetle, so these are two very, very, very useful cards in the deck. However, usually Twilight Drover and Mortician Beetle, you just pass them right by, but in this deck, they're amazing. This deck cannot work without them. Now, cards I need to add: Ashnod's Altar, Overground Tomb, the 3 filter lands. I need to change around my basic lands, and I need to add Doubling Season. So that's about it, and thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.